Yo, what is up guys and welcome back to the channel. Today we've got another review on the team of the season, Ilkay, Gundogan. We're going to go through the card stats, clips and summary. Before we get into all of that, if I could ask you guys to please hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, hit that bell so you know when I upload, and comment down below which of these team of the seasons from the Barclays Premier League you're going to be grabbing. And now, let's get into the video. So guys, the team that I used Ilkay Gundogan in, I played him in that DM spot in the 4-2-3-1, and overall guys, my first impressions, this card is a very good card, very good playmaker, very good deep playmaker as well, which I absolutely loved about him, and I thought this was a really fantastic card for all of that. Let's just get straight into the review. Ilkay Gundogan, 5'11", high medium work rates, right footed, 4-star ceiling, 4-star weak foot, 6 games played, 1 goal scored and 1 assist. Now guys, those stats don't really do this card justice. I do feel like he played a lot better than what his stats would suggest, and he was a very good playmaker, especially from DP, conducting the play, dictated the tempo as well, was a really nice player to use in all of that regard. In terms of the chemistry style guys, I put a shadow on him. I wanted him to be a good defensive midfielder, give him a bit of a pace boost, give him a bit of defensive boost, because he's very good technically at everything else, which leads me into the attribute details guys. The pros of the card, his long shots and shot power are phenomenal. He hits the ball so hard in terms of just laps from outside the box. Absolutely brilliant in that regard. His passing range is brilliant, probably one of the best I've used this year for sure, alongside Pirlo. Prime Moments Pirlo for sure, he is up there. His dribbling is pretty decent. He does have some flaws in there with his agility and balance, but overall, considering a deep playmaker role that he's playing, it's pretty decent. And his defending stats need a little bit of help too, but again, okay in that regard. In terms of the cons, pace and acceleration do need a helping hand in my opinion on this card. I do feel like that some of his defending could be a little better, like the defensive awareness, which would really help him position himself a little better. So again, the shadow does help him out. But guys, most importantly about this card, the stamina is quite low on this one, only 82, so you do need to bear that in mind with this card, that you will run out of stamina come later in the game when you need him to be able to run a little more. In terms of the player traits, he's got the injury prone trait, the long shot taker and the playmaker trait, as well as the technical dribbler, all lovely traits to have in the deep playmaker. And now that we've covered that, let's get into some of the clips that I got with him. So guys, get into some of Ilkay Gundogan's clips, and what you guys are going to see is his general ability to play that deep midfield role and how well he controlled and dictated the game for me in that role as well. Now the first thing I want to get into guys is his pace. Now his pace is a little low guys. I would say that it needs a slight helping hand with regards to just getting him to be able to compete with those faster midfielders. However guys, it is still at a decent level if you wanted to focus on other things. I don't feel like it has to be the main focus. However, I did feel like with the shadow on, it helped him tremendously in the pace department. The next thing we'll get into is his passing. Now his passing is phenomenal guys. It's easily one of the best passers I've used this year, and I've used a lot. Xavi, Pirlo, Gundogan is right up there with all of those guys, and I feel like he really does control the game with his passing. His ability to play those 1-2 passes as well, you'll see that so often in so many of these clips, the little 1-2 passes around the corner. He's so quick to burst in behind in on that gap and make those little 1-2 passes with the other players in your team. So it really is fantastic from that regard as well. His through passing, his vision, everything about it is fantastic. The next thing we'll get into is his dribbling. Now his dribbling is pretty good. He's very tight on the ball, very good ball control as well. However guys, I would say that his agility is a little bit lacking. He does move a little bit clunky at times, and that will be to the detriment of you, because you will have to focus your player on one way or another. Either you can't defend as well with him, or you can't dribble as well with him, and you'll have to take that on board in terms of what you want him to be able to do, or he won't be as fast of course as well. The next thing we'll get into guys is his shooting. Now his shooting animations were crazy. He didn't actually score a long range effort for me, but his shooting animations are crazy in terms of he just smashes them from distance, and they're so accurate as well. The keeper obviously did manage to save any attempts that I had, but the fact he was able to generate so much power and create so many good opportunities just off a long shot as well meant that that's a real threat from deep as well, and it's always welcome in a team where you're struggling maybe to create chances or just need a bit of luck as well. The next thing we'll get into guys is his physicality. Now his physicality is good. I do feel like he's obviously not the most physical of players, so you do need to play a little smart with this player, and generally that's how Ilkay Gundogan plays, is you have to play a little bit smarter than your opponent, not necessarily more physical or faster or stronger. For me guys, the physicality, a bit of a non-factor in that it's very good, sorry, not very good, but just good, decent, but not at the top level, so you do need to help him out in other areas. Maybe an anchor would do him a lot of good in terms of that, boosting his stats. The last thing we'll get into, guys, is his defending. Now, his defending is pretty decent. I do feel like it needs a boost, though, and that's where the shadow or the anchor comes in, especially if you are going to play him deep. You can give him some defensive responsibility with the right chemistry style on him, so I do feel like it's definitely worth looking at that option as well. In these final couple of clips, guys, you're going to see the only goal that he managed to score for me, and this summarizes Ilkay Gundogan from start to finish, picking up the ball from deep, driving out, playing little 1-2 passes, getting the run in here, in behind on goal, and then getting into the box and chipping it over the keeper. So guys, getting into this final Ilkay Gundogan summary. 183k on the PlayStation, 189 on Xbox, and 164 on the PC. Now guys, the key things about this card: the long shot's phenomenal, the passing range phenomenal, the dribbling pretty solid as well, and generally guys, he's got a very good stat set across the board. If we went to boost his stats, of course guys, you could look at something like an anchor. That would do him a great amount of service in terms of helping out his strength and aggression in the midfield, helping him contain a little more. His pace hasn't quite become a really good level, but it's a decent level. Defending stats also got really high too, so that's really nice as well. You could of course go with a shadow as well, just to focus more on the pace and give the defending a little bit of a higher boost as well. Guys, the other thing you could look at as well is to try and boost his pace and agility through that way. The engine of course would be one option that would really take his dribbling up to another level, but I feel like it's a bit wasted because of the passing element not getting as much of a boost as you maybe would like it to. In terms of similar players, guys, a deep playmaker, someone who can control the tempo from deep and really play a good game of football in there. I think a Thiago, although Thiago is a much slighter player. Corentin Tolisso is a very good shout. Leon Goretzka, that kind of mold of player. Daniel Vaz again, although I do think that Ilkay Gundogan is a step up from any of these cards. Maybe not that Goretzka card. Goretzka is a fantastic card this year, but I do really think this card is fantastic in terms of what he is able to do. In terms of linkability, guys, no perfect links, but strong links to a bunch of the Man City players in there. You guys can see Team of the Year and Team of the Season Kevin De Bruyne, End of an Era Aguero, Ruben Diaz is in there, Joao Cancelo of course on the next page, as well as all these German icons, Raheem Sterling, Rodri's in there. So many good links with this card, guys, and that's really what makes this card quite nice and appealing to stick into your teams as well. In terms of the price, guys, you guys can see he sits right above that Moments Busquets, who for me is one of the best value SBCs of the year, below Varane and Hernandez, below Bernardo and Paul Pogba there as well. In terms of comparable players as well, Emre Can sitting 180 and Tolisso at 180 as well. And in my opinion, guys, this card for 180k is an absolute steal. I do really feel like he's worth it, and in terms of what he'll deliver to your team, he does the job that he's supposed to do. He's able to control the tempo, dictate the game, and play those beautiful passes, as well as hold his own in defending. So for me, a really fantastic card. And that leads me into my final recommendation, guys, is when this price drops off a little more, which it inevitably will given how the week is going. Pick up this card, stick him in your team, links in well with a lot of players, and you're able to build a solid team with him as a supplementing piece. Hope you guys did enjoy this review. If you did, please do smash that like button. Until next time, I will see you all in a bit.